All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is going to be not so much training, but this one's, you know, there's prejudism in the federal government system and government purchasing and government procurement. There is still prejudism, there is still racism, there is still sexism. And if you know this, then you know how to deal with it or how to avoid it or how to prevent it. I see sexism way more than I see racism anymore, but they do still exist. And the one thing I wanted to show you guys is one of my clients, well, actually it was a prospective client that I was talking to one day, and he said something to me that really struck a nerve. He said something that, and he basically phrased it, he said it was on the dark side of town. You know, I immediately took that as being a very racist comment, and I assumed that he was racist. I also automatically, I guess as human nature, automatically assumed that he was Caucasian as well. But don't assume things, guys. Don't assume things too fast without asking the right questions, because you know what assume means. A-S-U-M-E means to make an ass out of you and me, all right? So I assumed that, but I kept asking questions and moving forward. He said that, you know, he was talking about getting an office in a HubZone. He said he thought a lot about it, and he definitely wanted to get an office in a HubZone, but the place he was looking at, he was worried because it was a fairly dangerous neighborhood, and it was in a very dark area. It was on the dark side of town. And again, I immediately assumed he was being racist, but I asked more questions, and I eventually realized that, number one, he wasn't Caucasian, he was African-American, and what he was trying to say by that is that he wasn't saying anything being racist. He was saying that it was a non-incorporated area, and there was no street lights in that area. So it wasn't very lit up at night. It was really dark at night in that area. So, you know, he wasn't being racist or prejudiced at all. So don't assume, you know, that makes an ass out of you and me. Here's my deal, okay? I'm kind of naive. I grew up in Texas. I grew up out in the middle of nowhere. I grew up around a lot of racist and sexist people, all right? I had a lot of influences in my life that were racist and sexist. I am not, but one of the examples that I can give you in high school, I said something to one of my friends about, well, if you're from Mexico, right? And he got really mad at me about, you know, don't you ever say that. I'm not a dirty Mexican. I was like, whoa, what do you mean? I'm from Puerto Rico. You know, he was really offended by that. And that at the time didn't make any sense to me that a race would be racist against other races. I thought that the only racism out there was Caucasians were racist towards other people. And apparently, no, that's not true. Their races are racist to other races. Well, then I was on an airplane flight one day, and I was just kind of listening to people talk behind me because I was bored, and I heard the girl say something about, she was African-American, and I heard her and her friend talking about another girl, and they were making fun of how black she was, that she was so dark and blah, 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 and they were making jokes about how dark this other African-American girl was. And that really mind-boggled me, that people are racist in their own races, that some African Americans are racist towards other African Americans for being darker, or vice versa. They're racist towards African Americans for being lighter, making fun of them because you have an African American father and a Caucasian mother. And I didn't realize that kind of racism existed. I mean, this is back in high school, dude. I've learned since then. I'm not as naive anymore. You know, I've been to college. I've learned a lot, but I just wanted to share this with you guys because there is still racism in the system. There is still sexism in the system. But if you know it and you know how to deal with it, then it's not that major of an issue if you know how to avoid it or how to deal with it. If you go to my LinkedIn and go to my articles, you'll find two of them. There's one on this specific, no, that's not what I meant to do. There's two articles. There's one regarding racism specifically, and there's one regarding sexism. You got to go down pretty far. I wrote that article a while ago, and it says, is it harder for women to win contracts? And it is, because especially if you're a minority and a woman, because then you got to deal with racism and sexism. But again, knowing that it exists and that there's something you can do about it to prevent it or how to deal with it when it happens is half the battle. And if I can get to it quickly enough without making you guys sit here and wait, I definitely want to show you the article real quick. It's a really good article. I got a lot of views on it very quickly. And I know we're getting close. There's a picture of a board with a bunch of buttons and switches on it. And survey says, no, almost. No, we're getting close. Closer. We're getting real close. It's coming. Hold the phone. There it is. Tougher for women to get contracts. Yes, it is. And this is a great article too, if you want to read it. I had a client. She told me she walked onto a job site one day. She's African American and a woman, so she's minority and woman owned. She walked onto a job site, and the job foreman literally asked her for breasts for real. Hey, are those real? You know, just blatant. Well, she reported it, and the foreman got fired. But I'm just saying, sadly enough, it still exists. So as long as you guys know this and you know how to deal with it or how to detect it or how to prevent it to begin with, that's another story. So you guys make sure to like and share and subscribe. Give me your ideas. If you have better ideas than mine, let me know. I'm always willing to learn as well. Make sure to like and subscribe and share and all that stuff. And you got something that burns your ass, let me know. I'll make a video or an article on it. And my name's John Wayne, like the movie star, no relation. Now, I'll tell you one thing, pretty lady. Send me your quotes. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like, what you think of me. Keep me informed. Talk to you then. Thanks, guys. Bye.